You just got the thing you wanted, the promotion, the acceptance letter, the client who said yes. Everyone around you is smiling, congratulating you, telling you that you deserve it. But inside, there's a voice, quiet, steady. They're going to find out. It's only a matter of time. You got lucky. You don't actually belong here. You smile, and behind you, something grows. 70% of people will experience this at some point in their lives. Not just once, repeatedly. And here's what's strange. The more capable you are, the louder that voice gets. This is imposter syndrome, and it's not what you think it is. In 1978, two psychologists, Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes, were studying high-achieving women at a university. Women with degrees, awards, proven track records. Almost all of them believed, quietly, that they were fooling everyone. That one day someone would pull back the curtain and see that they were never that smart to begin with. Clance and Imes called it the imposter phenomenon. What they found surprised everyone. It had nothing to do with actual ability. These women weren't less capable. They were, in many cases, more capable than their peers. The problem wasn't output. The problem was internalization. When something good happens, an achievement, a compliment, a win, the brain has to decide, do I own this, or do I explain it away? For people with imposter syndrome, the brain defaults to explanation. I got lucky. The bar was low. They just liked me. Anyone could have done that. When your brain perceives a threat, including the threat of being found out, the amygdala activates. Same stress response as physical danger. Cortisol rises. Hypervigilance kicks in. You start scanning every room for signs that people can see through you. This is not a character flaw. This is your brain doing exactly what it was built to do: protect you from exposure and rejection. The problem is it's protecting you from something that isn't there. Why does this happen to some people more than others? Two reasons, and they're connected. The first starts earlier than you think. Think about the last time you finished something, and your first thought wasn't pride. It was, what does this mean about me? That question didn't appear from nowhere. If you grew up where intelligence was the primary thing that earned praise, where being smart was how you earned love, where AB felt like a personal failure, your worth had a scoreboard, and it reset every morning. When identity is tied to performance, every achievement carries that same silent question underneath it. But what if I can't do it again? The second is culture. We live in a world that broadcasts everyone's highlight reel, promotions on LinkedIn, milestones on Instagram. Nobody posts the days they felt completely lost. So you see everyone's achievements and compare them to your inner experience. They're outside. You're inside. It never evens out. But researchers keep finding the same thing. Imposter syndrome almost never affects people who are truly incompetent. Truly incompetent people don't worry about being found out. They don't have enough self-awareness to question themselves. Psychologists call this the Dunning-Kruger Effect, but running in reverse. The less you know, the more confident you feel. The more you know, the more you see how much you don't. The doubt is the proof. Imposter syndrome doesn't look the same in everyone. Psychologist Valerie Young identified 5 patterns. One of them is probably you. The first is the perfectionist. You finish something, and instead of feeling satisfied, you start listing what was wrong with it. You hold back from submitting, launching, sharing, because it's not quite right yet. The struggle isn't ability, It's permission. Permission to call something good enough. The second is the expert. You have the job. You have the experience. But before every meeting, every new task, there's a voice. I should know more. What if someone asks something I don't know? You believe real competence means knowing everything. So no matter how much you learn, you always feel one question away from being exposed. The third is the soloist. You can do it. You just need to do it alone. Asking for help feels like confession, proof you were never capable to begin with. So you carry more than you should, work longer than necessary, and suffer quietly rather than say, I need support. The fourth is the superhuman. You measure worth not by what you accomplish, but by how much you can handle at once. If you're not operating at full capacity across every area, work, relationships, health, every goal simultaneously, it registers as failure. Rest feels dangerous. Slowing down feels like falling behind. The fifth is the natural genius. For most of your life, things clicked fast. You'd walk into a subject and just get it. While others were still taking notes, you were already done. Then one day, something didn't click. A new skill. A harder role. A problem that didn't resolve overnight. And instead of thinking, this is new territory, you thought, maybe I was never actually that good. Because in your mind, real intelligence doesn't struggle. It just knows. 5 different people. 5 different stories. Different faces. Same core belief. I am not enough as I am. I have to earn my place. Again and again. Here's what nobody tells you about imposter syndrome. It doesn't follow mediocrity. It follows growth. Every time you step into something larger than what you've done before, a new role, a new challenge, a new version of yourself, you are standing somewhere you've never stood before. That uncertainty is real. The feeling of not quite knowing what you're doing is real. But your brain reads that uncertainty as evidence of incompetence, when it's actually evidence of expansion. The shadow doesn't grow when you stand still. It only appears when you're climbing. Doubt is not weakness. It is depth. Maya Angelou, one of the most celebrated writers in American history, said she was always afraid someone would figure out she didn't really deserve it. This isn't a private failure. It's a universal feature of anyone who dares to grow. You don't need to silence the voice. You need to stop mistaking it for truth. The voice that says, "You don't belong here," is not a warning. It's a signal. A signal that you're somewhere that matters. Somewhere that asks something of you. You are not a fraud who somehow got this far. You are someone growing fast enough that your sense of self hasn't caught up yet. There's nothing to find out, except that you're still becoming. Knowing this is half of it. The other half is practice. First, separate the feeling from the fact. Feeling like a fraud is not the same as being one. When the voice shows up, don't fight it. Name it. That's the imposter talking. Labeling a feeling reduces its neurological intensity. You're not suppressing it. You're seeing it clearly. Second, build an evidence file. Not in your head, on paper, on your phone. Messages where your work helped someone. Things you did that felt impossible before you did them. Moments where you figured it out. The brain has a negativity bias. It clings to criticism and discards praise. The evidence file corrects that bias, not vanity, accuracy. Third, say it out loud. Find one person, a friend, a colleague, a therapist, and say, "I sometimes feel like I don't belong here. The voice gets smaller when someone else says, "Me too." Almost every time they look at you and say, "I feel that too." That recognition breaks the isolation. And isolation is what gives the voice its power. If something here landed, if you recognized yourself somewhere in this, you're in the majority. This channel is for people willing to look honestly at what's happening inside them, not to fix themselves, to understand themselves. If that's the kind of space you want, consider subscribing. One question for the comments, not about the video, about you. Which of the 5 do you recognize most in yourself? The perfectionist, the expert, the soloist, the superhuman, the natural genius? Write it below. You might be surprised how many people answer the same thing.